This is the emu.
First and foremost, hello guys, it's back. Muntasir, and I really want to tell you guys. Remember last video when I said the emu war, how emus defeated the Australian army? Yeah. They say it was 1 year ago, but I really don't know, man. It's okay. But then later on, look. I'm gonna be showing you guys how the emus defeated the Australian army. Thousands of them are still alive. Thousands. Even an ant couldn't. I'm not sure about an ant, but let's just say that how. Whatever. Let's continue today's video.
Emus versus humans. Who would win that fight? This is a question we no longer have to ask because we know the answer. In 1932, 20,000 emus took on the Australian military. The result bathed these birds in eternal glory.
So I don't know this guys.
This is the Emu War.
I don't think so. The Australian were too big. I don't think so. Let's just watch.
Hi, I'm Danielle Dufault and you're watching Animal Logic. The Emu War of 1932 is one of the most glorious moments in avian military history. A ragtag crew of tens of thousands of flightless birds took on Australian World War I veterans and waged a war of attrition that concluded in human retreat. But how did it get to that? Let's start with the antebellum period. Emus and their ancestors have inhabited Australia for millions of years. They live across the country, but in Western Australia, they congregate in large groups that migrate from the outback to the coast for the breeding season. Emus are one of the largest birds in the world. They can be close to 2 meters tall and weigh up to 70 kilograms. They're the third tallest avian species after the 2 African ostrich species.
After the 2 African ostrich species, and the 5th heaviest.
They're also the 5th heaviest bird, after the ostriches.
But 5th heaviest birds. Okay, following ostriches and
the northern and southern cassowaries, also from Australia. On the human side, Western Australia has been populated for tens of thousands of years. But during the early 20th century, the population exploded following the construction of railways that connected it to the rest of Australia. Population went from 40,000 in 1890 to 400,000 in 1930. Wheat farming was a key part in this population and economic boom, with most of it being exported. But after the Great Depression of 1929, the markets collapsed. People stopped buying their wheat, and farmers started to really suffer financially. At the same time, a drought caused a larger than usual emu migration, and the wheat fields were right on their path. You might have seen signs that tell you not to feed wild birds because it disrupts their migration patterns. This is exactly what happened in Western Australia. Once the emus found all of this delicious wheat and water reservoirs, there was no reason for them to keep moving.
Hey everyone, we have exciting news! We're thrilled to announce the release of Animal Logic's very first book, Strange Creatures. The show, with each chapter packed with my illustrations and stunning full-color images. It's a fun and engaging way to learn about the animal kingdom.
The emus started going into the farms and eating to their heart's content. But they have pretty huge hearts, and the 20,000 of them quickly started destroying farms. Emus never skip leg day, and it was easy for them to knock down fences. This caused the additional damage of letting rabbits and other animals into the farms. which quickly turned them into dust. Many of the farmers were World War I veterans who'd been given farmland after the war. They were enduring great financial hardship due to the global recession that had tanked wheat exports, while the government had failed to provide subsidies. They needed to get rid of the emus as soon as possible. And since they had fought in the trenches, they thought they knew the best way to get rid of their adversaries. Machine guns. They helped defeat the great German and Austrian armies,
Oh God.
so there's no way they wouldn't defeat their oversized bin chickens. Right? Right?
Oh, damn, the
The
look on his
farmers
face.
petitioned the federal government to help them. They asked the government to send machine gun specialists to deal with the rascally emus. The plan was that the farmers would pay for the food, bullets, and accommodation, while the state government of Western Australia would pay for the transportation of soldiers and equipment. From the federal government's point of view, this was basically a free operation that could serve as target practice for the soldiers. And so, the soldiers prepared for battle and went on their merry way all the way to the wheat fields of Western Australia. What they didn't know was that the emus were already prepared. They had been prepared for thousands of years.
Good job, Emu.
Emus emerged at a time when Australia was packed with carnivores, like the 7-meter-long Megalania, the jaguar-sized Thylacoleo, also known as the marsupial lion, Quincana, a croc with the gait and speed of a Komodo dragon, and the Wonambi, a constrictor snake bigger than the largest living anacondas. And not only did the emus survive among these natural-born killers, they outlived them. So the emus had a very simple and effective strategy. In
If you guys don't know what outlive means, like, they pass their death. So, like, they die first, but they still haven't died till today. Wow, that's surprising.
the words of the great poet, oversimplified, the emus said, "When they approach us, we run away." But still, none of these predators had machine guns, as far as we know. What kind of challenge would a couple of primates with boomsticks mount? The first battle took place in early November 1932.
Dude,
The
this year,
soldiers
this month is
approached a group of about 50 emus, and once they were within firing range, they unleashed their World War I Lewis guns. The emus did what they've been doing for thousands of years, and at the first shot, they scrammed and scattered in all directions. To defend themselves from these killers, emus developed powerful legs for kicking their opponents, but also to sprint away from danger. Emus can run at speeds of up to 50 kilometers an hour,
Anyway,
fast enough to cover 3 football fields in 20 seconds.
look, 20
They also have a thick plumage to protect them and conceal their most sensitive areas. Within seconds, they were all out of the machine gun's range. Only a few emus were felled, while the army wasted hundreds of bullets. Round 1. Advantage: birds. For the next couple of weeks, the soldiers kept the same strategy, but the emus kept thwarting their attempts due to their speed, agility, their ability to escape into rugged terrain, and an outstanding resilience to bullets. Emus are naturally skittish and run away at the first sight of danger. Their height and great vision helps them spot danger from large distances, and their travel groups keep eyes on all directions, scanning for danger. On one occasion, the soldiers tracked a group of 1,000 emus. But once they opened fire, the emus did what they always do and left the soldiers in the dust. Just about 25 emus were killed that day. The Emu Central Command reacted to this attack by canceling all large congregations. The soldiers would have to pick off hundreds of smaller groups. The emus officially entered the age of guerrilla warfare. Just like in other guerrilla wars, the emus were outgunned, but they had terrain and chaos on their side. they endured attacks from machine guns strapped to trucks, which couldn't drive as fast as the emus could run on uneven ground and made aiming almost impossible. There was even a report of an emu who got run over by the truck, but its body got stuck in one of the front wheels, making the truck lose control and crash into a tree. They literally had kamikaze attacks. After a brief interruption due to pressures from the media and the general public, the war continued until the government put a final stop to it. By then, the soldiers had used close to 10,000 bullets and killed under 1,000 emus. The operation was too expensive and was considered too inhumane a way to control emu populations. The issue had reached such farcical levels in Australian politics that a member of parliament mockingly pondered if the soldiers involved in the emu war should be given a medal, to which another member responded that if anything, the medal should go to the emus. That was the final military involvement in the farmers' conflict with the emus, but not the end of the war on the bird. In the following years, a bounty system proved more effective than machine guns. This was just another of the many conflicts where humans settle in an animal's habitat and then get mad when the wildlife is still around and tries to use the available resources to survive. And just like that, with emu egg on their face, the military ended their operations. In this case, better fencing and population management led to a relatively happy ending. Emus are still abundant, and Australians, legend has it, are also still kicking. So what should we talk about next? Please let me know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for new...
I'm not gonna lie, that was actually a nice video, but I'm still surprised how an emu won over to Australian people. And 50 kilometers per hour, I mean not per hour, like 50 kilometers on running. And then later on the field, in the football field, like they can run onto 50 kilometers, and they can finish it, the whole entire football field in 20 seconds. That'll be a good world record. Well, don't forget to subscribe also, and what they said over here, don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every day. Bye.